Hello, hello, hello again. I am Scott Stanton, the original Tombstone tourist, and today we are in Medford, Massachusetts, just north of Boston at the Oak Grove Cemetery. Now, we've been here a couple times before. There's a couple of sea-level actors. We got an Olympic star, and we have a victim from the Boston Marathon bombing. But today's subject, I think, is one of the most fascinating stories, certainly the most intriguing in Boston history. Now, come follow me, and we're here to see the final resting place of Peter Limone. Now, Peter Limone was a bookmaker long time ago for the Patriarca family, and I apologize if I'm saying that completely wrong. He was a bookkeeper, or bookmaker. In other words, he was an earner for the crime family. And in the late 60s, he, along with 5 other people, were arrested for the murder of Teddy Deegan. Okay? This is Peter's final resting place with his wife, who passed away last year. Now, what had happened was the FBI came, rounded up 6 people, including Peter, and 4 of them got charged with capital murder and were arrested and sentenced to the death penalty. They were convicted, sentenced to the death penalty. A couple of years later, it was commuted to life. Peter and 3 others remained in prison for 33 years. 2 of the gentlemen died, and so it was just him and another person. They were released, and then he died, passed away several years later. Now let me tell you about the rest of the story, okay? Did Peter and his cohorts murder Teddy Deegan? Absolutely not. Did the FBI know who murdered Teddy Deegan? Absolutely. They knew it was Joe the Animal Barboza, it was Vincent Flemmi, and 2 other associates. Now, Vincent Flemmi sounds familiar. He is the brother of Steve the Rifleman Flemmi. And if Steve the Rifleman Flemmi sounds familiar, that's because he worked with Whitey Bulger. And if you can connect the dots, Whitey Bulger worked with the FBI. So the FBI sent their original analysis and said, hey, it was Joe the Animal Barboza, it was Vincent Flemmi, 2 others. They were there the night Deegan was murdered, and they are guilty. They sent that letter to everybody internally, including J. Edgar Hoover, who signed off on it. Now, why did Peter Limone and the others get convicted? Because the FBI was on the take, and in conjunction with the Boston police, they fabricated evidence, they fabricated witness testimony, they fabricated everything. And why did they do that? Because Whitey Bulger needed to keep Vincent Flemmi out of prison, and he hated the other family. He certainly hated Peter and that crew. So, what happens? He goes to prison for 33 years. When he gets out, what do you think happens? Huge, massive lawsuit. The FBI was found guilty of all of these charges. He got $26 million. The other 3 family members got $26 million. And what did Peter do? Of course, he retired to Florida on vacation and did a lot of fishing. I'm kidding, he didn't do that. He went right back into the mob. So there he is, sitting on $26 million. He became the consigliere of the Patriarca family, and then he rose to mob boss at the very top. Now people wonder why. Peter, you got $26 million. Why don't you just take off? Well, first of all, the family took care of his family the whole time he was in there for 33 years. When he came out, he was loyal to the end. But my personal opinion, I think he wanted to stick it back to the FBI. He wanted to show them, not only you can't buy me off, but I'm going to go back to what I was doing. And he ran the family successfully and retired, and here we are today. So that's the whole story. I hope I got it close to right. I apologize for any mistakes I had. It's a difficult story. But naturally, Vincent Flemmi, what happened to him? He overdosed on heroin in prison. Joe the Animal Barboza, who was one of the witnesses against Peter, was gunned down. Whitey Bulger went on the run. We all know what happened to him. He was captured 2 decades later and then beaten to death in prison. And Stephen Flemmi, I believe, is the only one still alive. He's in prison for life for multiple killings. The Flemmi family were absolutely psychotic group of people. So I hope you enjoyed today's story. We are at Oak Grove Cemetery. We are in Tamarack Lawn. It's in the back flat part with the newer monuments, and he's at the intersection, as you can see. I'm Scott Stanton. I hope you enjoyed this story. I'm the original Tombstone tourist. You have yourself a great day.